another grand finish. Last night, it was Ian Stewart, the seventh inning, with a grand slam, providing the difference as the Rockies knocked off the Padres 10-8. And with that victory, the Rockies edge closer to first place in the National League West. Tonight, game 2 of a 3-game set. The Rockies and the division-leading Padres. And let's check the NL West standings updated with the Dodgers losing earlier today. The Dodgers 2.5 back. The Rockies just 2 behind the Padres. 10 games above 500 at 48 and 38. Good evening, everybody. With George Frazier, I'm Drew Goodman. Last night was a blast in more ways than one, and tonight we begin talking about Jason Hamill. He'll be on the hill tonight, and other than Ubaldo Jimenez, he's been their most consistent starter.
And dominant at home. For you watch Hamill and what he has accomplished, he's been dominant at home for whatever reason, because he struggled badly there in 2009. And Jason, I think, has taken the attitude that I'm really going to throw the pitches where I want to, when I want to, and how I want to. You see the high earned run average, the 3-3 record. You see games started 15. Now, I understand he's 9 games into the season, but he has dominated here at Coors Field, a 5-1 record. His team's even played better when he has been out on the mound. So it doesn't tell the whole story, but it tells a lot of it. Hamill has utilized fastball command. He's utilized a very good curveball, mixing in a slider and an occasional changeup. The key to all this is his body stays on line to the plate. He's got command from 18 inches to 18 inches on the corner to corner with every pitch that he throws, and I think that's why he's successful he has right now. And
he has the highest level of confidence he has ever had as a big league pitcher. Over his last 10 starts since coming off the disabled list, a record of 6-1, an ERA of 2.76. That's special stuff. When we come back, we'll talk about the late show. Yeah, that's the Rockies from the 7th inning on. Field, big crowd expected as the Rockies take on the Padres. Just 2 games left before the All-Star break. Speaking of All-Stars, Ubaldo Jimenez, Troy Tulowitzki getting their All-Star jerseys in a ceremony that took place just a few moments ago. And those jerseys are on sale now. I know at all dugout stores and in the stadium because I saw a fan wearing Ubaldo's National League All-Star jersey just a few minutes back. Welcome back. I'm Drew Goodman. The Rockies have really taken off this week offensively. You know, it was just a couple of weeks ago we were talking about the Rockies' inability to come from behind and win games. Well, this week they come from 7 down, 5 down, and last night 3 down to win ball games. For more on that story, we go field level and my partner Jeff Houston. Jeff?
Yeah, nothing to it, Drew. I mean, now late night dramatics, I mean, that's pretty much the norm. The last 21 ball games for the Rockies, not too good, 29 runs, but the last 8 have been special. They were now tied for second in the major leagues with runs scored during that time. It used to be the first 6 innings, they'll score a lot of runs, 7th, 8th, not so much. Now it's just the opposite, and it's just a matter of who's going to be the hero. We've seen heroes up and down the lineup the whole time during this streak. And Jim Tracy made an interesting point today in his press conference. He said, I just tell the guys, hey, don't make the last out of the ball game. You'll win a lot of games.
Well, if you keep on hitting, the clock never strikes midnight. The Rocks has done a whole lot of hitting of late. All right, Huey, thanks very much. We are set for baseball. The Rockies and Padres Game 2. Jason Hamill against the left-hander Wade LeBlanc. Come on back to Coors Field with us. Baseball on FSN is brought to you by Quest High-Speed Internet. Get blazing fast speeds. It won't burn up your wallet. By E470, it's easy to use and adds value to your life. And by the Ford F-150, it's not just a pickup truck, it's a Ford F-150. Drive one. They're expecting more than 40,000 tonight just off the Platte River in lower downtown Denver at Coors Field. Rockies are 7-3 this year against the Padres, 20-15 inside the National League West. That's the second best record inside the NL West to the Dodgers, who have a terrific record. But the Dodgers lost earlier today at home 7-3 to the Cubs. There's Jerry Hairston Jr. hitting .246 this season. He'll be followed in the lineup by Chase Headley and Adrian Gonzalez. Scott Hairston will be next. Yorvik Torrealba back in there. He did not play last night. He'll be in the 5-hole. Aaron Cunningham filling in for Will Venable. Chris Denorfia is in center field. Everett Cabrera, struggling with the bat, will be at short and batting 8th in front of Wade LeBlanc. Let's take a look at the scouting report on the 6'7" Jason Hammel.
Fastball 90-96. You see the rest of the numbers there. 77-82 on the curveball, which he's used very well. And the changeup 78-83, along with a hard slider. Interesting note about Jason Hammel. On May 27th, since then, he's 5-0, 2.09 earned run average, despite only getting 3.31 runs support. The Rockies are 7-1 in those 8 starts. You think about that, just a little bit over 3 runs per start. He's doing his job terrifically by keeping his ball club in the game.
Let's take a look at the defensive alignment for the Rockies, presented by Mercedes-Benz. Cargo's in left, Dexter Fowler in center, Ryan Spilborgh's in right field against the lefty. Melvin Mora with the lefty on the hill despite 6 ribbies last night for Ian Stewart. He'll be at third. Barmes and Herrera up the middle. Brad Eldred will be at first base. King Kong, as they call him, Chris Iannetta, is doing the catching tonight. First pitch is brought to you by Domino's Pizza. Text keyword pizza followed by a space and your name to 95323 to receive your Domino's special offer and be entered to win a pizza party for 15. Choose one winner a week. So here's Jerry Hairston Jr. getting ready to go on a perfect night for baseball.
Last couple of nights have been beautiful.
Yeah, and the first pitch is pulled foul. Jerry Hairston, an aggressive leadoff hitter. Tony Gwynn still nursing a sore heel, not going tonight. David Eckstein not going again tonight. And here's the 0-1, and that's lifted in the air to Spilborgh's in right. He started back, then took a couple of steps in. 2 pitches, 1 out.
Well, when you pound the strike zone, you're going to get quick outs in a ball game. That's for sure.
Chase Headley will come up. Game time temperature, by the way, is 85 degrees. And the first pitch to Headley is just beneath the knees. Made Gary Cedarstrom flinch, Jeff Houston.
Jerry's one of the best, been around a long, long time, part of the old American League group, George.
Yeah, how about that guy? Still sticking around. Good umpire.
Very good.
He does it because of the number of years he has umpired. If you watch him when he sets up behind the plate a lot of times, I mean, and these guys, they have back problems, neck problems with the heavy mask, I mean, all kinds of things. He's gotten a little bit higher. So sometimes the low pitch doesn't get called. See how high up he is in his setup behind Chris Iannetta tonight. He's not the only one.
He reminds me a lot of Tim McClellan in that regard.
Yep. Timmy used to get down really low behind the plate, but now through the course of 30-something years of umpiring, difficult spot for him to get to.
That was the changeup that Hammel mixes in on occasion, 2-2. Cedarstrom in his 17th year as a major league umpire.
Well, that doesn't include how many years he spent in the minor leagues either.
No.
Remember a guy, one of my favorites, Dutch Renner, spent 16 years in the minor leagues, 14 years in the big leagues. He's been retired for about 10 years.
Gary had to wade through some snow to get to minor league baseball early on. Ground ball to Eldred, and nice feed there. So Gary's from Minot, North Dakota. That's pretty good play by the big man, Huey.
Well, it was. He ranged to his right that time and just really snagged that ball in that big webbing. We saw a ball the other night hit hard, get by him to his right when he had to dive. That time showed great range and a nice easy flip over to Jason Hammel to get Headley.
Well, the other night, first game for him to play in at Coors Field, Major League, after spending the time he has, basically 08, 9, and part of this year in the minor leagues. I'm sure a little nerves involved, too, on that first ball hit.
So here's Adrian Gonzalez. 2 outs and nobody on. Rockies employ a shift in the infield. Last night against Jorge De La Rosa, he got a fastball and he got the barrel out and hit it into the bullpen. 2-run home run. At the time, it gave the Padres a 3-0 lead. They had a couple of 3-run leads last night. They were up 8-5. in the bottom of the 7th inning. That's when the Rockies rallied for 5, with the grand slam from Ian Stewart being the shining moment. Now, Gonzalez plays one of the premier pitchers parks in baseball, so 12 of his 18 home runs have come out on the road. Imagine if he played in Cincinnati or Philadelphia.
Albert Pujols leads that with 13.
Well, and also how much more recognition he would get if he played in, say, in New York or Philadelphia, somewhere like that.
And he's a two-way player. You guys well know. I mean, he's a very, very good defensive player. Very soft hands at first base. Here's the 2-2. And he's a pro's pro. I mean, he's out there every day. He doesn't miss.
He doesn't take advantage of his success, which some guys in all facets of pro sports will do that once they reach a plateau.
Soft-spoken man who carries a big bat, and this ball is pulled down the line. It's got some hook on it. Unfortunately, it's foul.
Well, how good is Jason Hamill been since June 1st? I'm going to read some names off. Johnson in Florida, Lato's here with these guys, Wainwright, Gallardo. Hamill's 4th on the list for the lowest earned run average at 1.94 since June 1st.
And it's on the ground of the shortstop, Clint Barnes. Good start for Jason Hamill. 1-2-3 beginning. We'll see the Rockies on offense when we return to 20th and Blake. It's Wade LeBlanc. And Dexter Fowler will lead things off. He'll hit righty initially. Tough night last night for Dexter, but he's had so many big nights since returning from AAA. Last night he was 0 for 5. Johnny Herrera will hit next. He was 2 for 5 last night with a couple of runs scored. Carlos Gonzalez, another huge night. He was 3 for 4. The only time San Diego retired him, he hit a rocket at the second baseman. And Mora, Mora, Inetta, Spilborghs, Eldred, Barmes, and Hamill. And Dexter takes strike 1 from Wade LeBlanc. LeBlanc has been throwing the baseball well. He's got an overall record of 4-6. He won at Coors Field here in his 3rd big league start back in September of 2008. 1-1 lifetime with a 4.42 ERA against the Rockies. He's kind of a typical, lefty that's not overpowering.
He's a young Tommy John. He's a young Tom Glavine. He relies on his precise control of the baseball. He'll throw a changeup anytime in the count. He'll work both up and down. He'll go out side to side with the plate. For him to have success, he has to have people swinging at baseballs. He's got to put him in play. He's not a big strikeout guy.
This is fouled off out of play. Look at these July averages. The top three guys in the Rockies order are all right there. Fowler, Herrera, and Gonzalez all hitting over 400. But Jason Giambi has the best average of anybody, 524. And this ball is lifted down the right field line, and the wind is going to move it back into the seats, fortunately. He'll play for Aaron Cunningham. Troy Tulowitzki.
Mr. Helton.
And Todd's there.
Photo
right
today at the ballpark.
He went.
Call him, yep.
So Fowler is gone. Let's take a look at the scouting report on Wade LeBlanc.
He'll throw 4 pitches, but his main 3 are fastball. He'll throw the slider with it and a changeup. Changeup, Drew and I just talked about, his best pitch. And again, he'll throw it anytime, anywhere in a count. And his other biggest assets working both sides of the plate. First 6 starts, 2-1, 154. The last couple are not so good. And the last 7 got a little bit better. So he's pitching better. The road has not been his friend. 2-2 with a 485 earned run average compared to 236 at home.
Well, he faced the Rockies less than 2 weeks ago. He lost 6-3 despite only giving up 2 hits. He struck out a career best 8. You know, the Rockies struck out 14 times last night, Jeff, in 9 innings, which tied for the most in a 9-inning game this year, if they won.
Yeah, and you had 2 guys that had 4 strikeouts, and you still won the game, and that's the bottom line. But it's something you have to stay away from. And LeBlanc, last time that the Rockies faced him, he was just pinpoint control with that fastball and the changeup. It really had the hitters off balance.
2 outs. Cargo coming up from Mercedes-Benz defensive alignment for the Padres. Scott Hairston, Kristen Orphea, and Aaron Cunningham in the outfield. Chase Headley's at third. Everett Cabrera at short. Jerry Hairston's at second base. Adrian Gonzalez, of course, at first. And our old friend Torrealba's behind the plate. Cargo hit a home run against LeBlanc in that start in San Diego on the 29th. And in the 3rd inning last night, he had a line drive and kept on going. Right over the center field wall, his 16th home run of the year. Here's the 1-0. And it's outside 2-0.
Torrealba catching, obviously he knows these hitters. And I would not look for him to go back to the same spot a lot. And he may go back to back with the pitch, but he's not going to go to the same spot. He's going to move it in and out, and he's going to move it up and down.
Well, the one advantage both pitchers have right now is they're pitching in sunlight. The hitters are in the shade. You got the shadows and stuff to pick up spin and rotation on the baseball.
2 balls and a strike on Carlos Gonzalez. 2 outs, nobody on. And this ball is hit well to left center field. And getting back and making the catch is Scott Hairston. It's really the only way you get him out these days. Another loud out. We'll go to the 2nd, no score. It is an opportunity to move on in our Breaks Plus Sweet 16 of ballpark food. The Elite Eight tonight: Cracker Jacks or pretzels. Rocks 1 for Cracker Jacks, Rocks 2 for pretzels. Go see your friends at Breaks Plus. They got super deals in the month of July. $25 a brake service, $10 off an oil change. Strike 1 on Scott Hairston on a breaking ball. Hot dogs moved on last week to the Final Four. We congratulate all of the hot dogs out there. You like that, Huey?
I like that one. That was good, Joe.
So what do you got tonight? Pretzels or popcorn?
That would be the battle, George.
Cracker Jacks. Cracker Jacks.
Oh, pretzels or Cracker Jacks. I can't remember.
No, you just forgot like I did. I was asking for help.
You got to go Cracker Jacks, right?
You have to. Well, they're in a song. They have to be, right?
Ground ball foul. I see Cracker Jacks winning in a blowout tonight.
It will be lopsided.
I just don't think.
How much is Cracker Jacks paying you two guys to be their campaign manager?
I don't think the pretzels shoot the ball well enough to hang in there with the Cracker Jacks. Here's the 0-2. And it's popped up right behind the pitcher's mound. Melvin Mora makes the catch. 1 out. Torrealba will be coming up as we pay a visit to Mark Stout. Mark?
All right, guys, I'm out here in center field. Good view of the battery, which is Jason Hamill and Chris Iannetta. These guys have a special relationship. Why? Because in the offseason, they live within 15 minutes of one another. Chris Iannetta, Providence, Rhode Island native. Jason Hamill, his wife, also a Providence, Rhode Island native. So the Hamills live there. They worked out 5 days a week in the offseason at RBI, the Rhode Island Baseball Institute. It's been around since 1992. Chris has been going there forever. He's one of the key alumni of that place. They would go every day. They'd throw, they'd have catch, they'd do a little bullpen, lifting, do some running on their own. And Jason Hamill told me this week that relationship is key on and off the field, and it's really helped him, the numbers you gave, George, to really settle down here with the Rockies. Guys?
Well, you know, the kid who grew up in the state of Washington moves to the other coast. Jason Hamill, 1 ball, 1 strike. It's got to be nice in the offseason to work out with one of the guys that catches you during the regular season.
Yeah, I tell you, that's one of the hardest things to find in the off season is a catcher to catch you. And you have 7, 8 guys throwing bullpens and doing different things. I know I got 8 or 10 guys that come to me in the months of January and February and getting prepared for spring training. The worst thing is trying to find a catcher, let alone a catcher that's your teammate.
Pulled the string on Torrealba, 2-2.
Torrealba's always been a very good fastball hitter, particularly up in the strike zone.
He's always been a clutch hitter, too. Rockies know that from his exploits in 07 and 09. And he's off to a fine start in his first season with the Padres. Barmes got that big hop, and he's going to get you a beat by a step and a half. 2 outs. That'll bring up Aaron Cunningham.
That's a nice charge from Clint Barmes, and saw him that time go with 2 hands to try to field it instead of just the 1 like he normally does, because he knew he had the time to make that easy transfer.
You know, there are plays that you like to make, Huey. I would think this one's fun for a shortstop.
It is. 2 hands, looks it all the way in, and in 1 motion, get it out and over there and get him by a step. That's as easy as it comes right there.
So Aaron Cunningham's been swinging the bat well. He's got an 8-game hitting streak, hitting .440 during the stretch. 3 for 4 yesterday. And a ground ball to Johnny Herrera. 6 up and 6 set down by Jason Hamill. Inning, Melvin Mora, Chris Iannetta, and Ryan Spilborghs. Who wants tacos? Remember, if the Rockies score 7 or more runs during any game, go to participating Colorado Taco Bell locations the next day between 4 and 6. Get your Rockies tacos special. Feed your fever at Taco Bell. Hope you went this afternoon. Melvin Mora takes ball 1 from Wade LeBlanc, 25-year-old, who actually did not break with the club at the end of spring training. Went to Portland initially.
Initially wasn't a part of what they were trying to do in a rotation. There's 2 ways to take it when you get sent down. You can either go pout, or you can get after it and continue to do what you were doing and get back to the big league. By the way, listen, this is pretty cool. The 8 games into July, the Rockies are first in runs scored in all of baseball, first in average 349, first in slugging percentage, and first in on-base percentage. Is that any good?
That will work. Here's the 1-2, and Mora fouls it off.
I thought the number that was real interesting along those lines, George, is the way the Rockies have moved up in batting average from 17th to 9th in just 9 days. That's unbelievable to move up that far in the major league ranks in such a short amount of time with a lot of at-bats.
How about runs scored? They moved up from the middle of the pack to 3rd.
Well, when you hit 350 for 2 weeks, it's going to go somewhere. And that's what the whole team. I think the part about all this with the Rockies hitters, it's not just 1 or 2 guys that have gotten hot. It's been it's been the entire hitting group because of what Jim Tracy's had to do to mix, match, and put the starters where he wants to put them.
Well, let me correct something. After last night's 10 runs, they were 3rd yesterday. They're now 2nd in runs scored in the National League. This could be number 1 for Melvin Mora in a Rockies uniform. Here it is. First Colorado home run for the former Baltimore Oriole, Melvin Mora. Got a hanging hook.
See if this pitch is up. You can see right where Toriyama wanted it. He wanted it down and away. And it's up, out over the plate. Even though he's so much out on his front foot, it's still a powerful swing. He proved that with that home run.
I think he was all set up, too, by the 2 foul balls he hit off to the right side, thinking stay up the middle. And then he got that hanger and was just able to pull with it.
It's been 170 at-bats for the 38-year-old Melvin Mora. Last home run came on September 19th of last year against the Red Sox. Iannetta with a 2-0 count.
Ouch.
Yeah. Tell you what, those are 2 guys that know their way around a weight room. Melvin Mora and Jason Giambi.
Love it on the Hyundai Cam. Look at how high and elevated this pitch is. See how far Toriyama's glove comes back? Hitters at the big league level are going to make you pay for mistakes.
Called a strike on Iannetta. 2-2 on Chris. Chris brings in a 6-game hitting streak. 4 home runs during the 6-game hitting streak. In fact, he's hit a home run in his last 3 starts. This is on the ground at Chase Headland. One out, 1 in, and Ryan Spilborghs will come up. Spilborghs got an at-bat late yesterday as he came in defensively for Brad Hopp, was 0 for 1. Hit .301 in the month of June. So far 4 for 16 in July. Bounces up there. Fastball changeup guy, as George Frazier described, Wade LeBlanc. And he was sneaky quick with that one because it's one of the few times he's double up on his fastball.
I was a little surprised by that, too, that he went back to back. That one a little more elevated, I think, up over the strike zone. Coming inside here. And Spilberg's one of those guys kind of hard to bust in over and over. Unless you've got a fastball, you can move up into the low to mid 90s.
3 fastballs in a row. Doubt it'll go to it. Maybe the changeup away.
All right, let me ask you, what are you going to look for?
That
changeup away. That was a beautiful pitch. Second strikeout. 2 outs. And that'll bring up Brad Eldred.
Torrealba really set up inside on this pitch. It looked like he floated and floated back out again. That's just painted. When we talk about his command of it and how well he could throw it. You got a good one, you can look for it. It still doesn't mean you're going to hit it.
Right. Well, it was the same place he was trying to go on Mora. He just left that one up, and that's why Melvin hit it out.
Curveball he didn't get on top of it. It'll be interesting, George, to see if he just gets rid of that altogether, because every curveball he's thrown has gone up there like a cement mixer.
The only thing he's thrown, watch your lips.
Brad Eldred pulls it foul.
The only time he threw one, and it wasn't a curveball, it was a cutter. He threw it to Gonzalez on the very first pitch, because he hadn't been able to do just what you said. He hadn't been able to command the curveball. He threw a cutter that Gonzalez swung and missed.
May predominantly become just a 2-pitch guy tonight.
And just try to go side to side, elevate a fastball every now and then.
Harder to throw the breaking pitch, harder to get the grip here at altitude. Inside, 2-1 on King Kong, Brad Eldred, 6'5". He's listed at 290.
No, I think it's 288.
This ball is ripped to left. It'll drop. He's doing a pretty good job, Huey. He's 4 for 6 in a Rockies uniform.
It's just like spring training, right? I mean, that's what he did coming out of spring training. Got the hits right away. And this time he did break his bat. Didn't hit it that hard, but stayed on it long enough to drop it into left field.
That'll get Clint Barmas up. Cliff Lee is making his first start tonight in a Texas uniform. And Baltimore, of all teams, have tagged him for a run on a couple of hits there in the first frame down in Arlington. What a terrible trade for the Rangers. Down low, ball 1. Maybe you look at Cliff Lee's numbers. You have to look twice, because he has all the strikeouts and he doesn't walk anybody. He had like 6 walks all year.
What, do you have 3 straight complete ball games? You noticed in all the interviews, didn't you? If you watched Fox Sports and you watched all the other big networks, Baseball Network, you see who's doing all the interviews? Nolan Ryan. John made one initially. John Daniels made an initial news conference, and then from then on, it's been Nolan Ryan. Had to get all kinds of approval from Major League Baseball because of the bankruptcy situation. Gave up 2 first-round draft picks and smoked and beat them.
Here's a 3-0, and that misses. So Barmas,
everybody froze. Clint froze. Torrealba froze.
Eldred goes to second, and that brings up Hamill. This is the kind of guy, talking about LeBlanc. I mean, he's a pitcher, but he's not going to overwhelm you. And if he throws, something at 86, 87 in the range of Jason Hamill, that's where those pitchers get those hits.
You like that velocity as a pitcher. You don't like those guys throw hard with a nasty breaking ball and all the rest. Just kind of somebody that, with a nitpick, and you get a swing at a good one, you come out with some good results.
There's an 87-mile-an-hour fastball, and he had a pretty good hack at it. He wasn't uncomfortable, Huey.
No, and I think there's a lot of hitters, position players, that think the same thing, George. I don't like that guy that throws 95, 96 with movement. I call this guy comfortable in the box, because you never feel like you're going to be overwhelmed.
Well, to that point, I was talking to Will Venable yesterday, who's on the disabled list right now with a back strain. He's traveling with the club. And we were talking about Jimenez, and he said, I'll be the first to tell you, man, it is not comfortable. I'd rather be anywhere but in that batter's box when he's on the hill. He's a big league player.
He's not alone. There's a lot of guys, how many guys want to run up there and face Roy Halladay, Josh Johnson, Jimenez? There's that select group of 5 or 6.
I was harking back to Greg Maddux. Greg Maddux, you go 0 for 4, but you felt like it was a comfortable 0 for 4.
Well, I was on him.
Yeah, I just missed him again and again and again and again.
And I'm 1 for 17, just missing him in my career.
But I didn't feel like I was going to die in the box, like as some of the other guys you would face, 98 miles an hour.
Yeah, every era has them. I would imagine facing Doc Gooden in the mid-'80s wasn't a lot of fun.
No. Gibson, those type of guys in the 70s. Wow.
This is pulled to third, and Headley will get the force by going to Jerry Hairston. In the inning, the Rockies get a run on a Melvin Mora home run. His first in a Colorado Rockies uniform. 1-0. Baseball on FSN is brought to you by AT&T. Find out what's possible with the nation's fastest 3G network. AT&T Rethink Possible. By Brakes Plus a whole lot more. By King Soopers, our people make the difference. And by Hyundai Uncensored. Real people, real comments on the all-new Hyundai Sonata. Visit your Colorado Hyundai dealers today. Just a beautiful night, part of what's been a gorgeous weekend and a terrific week for the Rockies. They've won 5 straight. Jason Hamill, 6 up, 6 set down. Chris Denorfia will be the first up in the top of the third. And he gets a slider, which you don't see a lot of from Hamill for a strike.
Chris Iannetta walked out before the at-bat, before Chris got in the box, and he told Jason, be aware of the bunt. He will bunt it. So a lot of times you'll start a guy off with a breaking ball, moving away from it.
Varmus throws out Denorfia. That'll bring up Everett Cabrera. It's time for our Geico quote of the day. See what's in store today. Oh, from Max Klinger on MASH, one of my all-time favorite shows. A good cigar is like a beautiful woman with a great body, who also knows the American League box scores.
Oh, boy.
What do you always have? The Toledo Mud Hens hat.
He had the Toledo Mud Hens hat on, yeah? Always looking for what, a Section 8?
Yep.
0-1 on Cabrera. Favorite MASH character, Jeff Houston.
Radar.
Radar O'Reilly.
Yep.
From Iowa. He was from
Metumwa.
Metumwa. Yeah, Metumwa,
No,
Iowa.
Metumwa.
Oh, is it?
OTT.
Oh, see, I haven't been there. I just thought it was with an M. 1 and 2. Frage, who'd you like?
All the above. Klinger. I liked all of them. It's just a great show to watch.
Colonel Potter.
Just kept you?
I like Colonel Potter. I like Trapper. 1 and 2 on Cabrera.
I know one thing I like so far, the way Jason Hamill's throwing the baseball. Because he's mixing it up with that fastball, slider, changeup, and curveball, really keeping him off balance.
He's thrown 31 pitches. Only 8 have been out of the strike zone. You got to be ready to hit with Hamill. last year. He was the guy that filled up the strike zone. He's one of the top 10 in the National League in allowing the fewest number of walks per 9 innings.
It goes along with the discussion I had with a prominent National League scout. He may start in the 5th spot for you, but he does not have a 5th starter stuck.
Not even
because
close.
of who's in front of him or how you position it for him to have success or what they do. And that's a compliment to the guy.
Well, Jim Tracy announced earlier today how he would start after the All-Star game, and Jason Hamill will open up Friday in Cincinnati against the Reds. And then Saturday, it'll be Jorge De La Rosa. Sunday, Aaron Cook. And Ubaldo Jimenez will pitch Monday in all likelihood against the Marlins. Strike 3 on the inside corner. That's the first punch out of the night for Jason Hamill.
Well, 6 straight ground ball outs, and then now this strikeout by Jason Hamill. Good location of the fastball has locked him up. That was a perfect pitch, going to catch just enough of the plate. Because they have a little late cut to it, it moved to the inside corner.
Wade LeBlanc, Louisiana native who is an All-American at the University of Alabama. And on 2 hops, he hits it to Brad Eldred. 34 pitches in 3 spotless innings of work so far for Jason Hamill. 1-0 Rockies. On the home run from Melvin Mora. This date in history is brought to you by Dex One Marketing Solutions Business Results. July 10th, 1932, to save train fare for the single date appearance. Connie Mack takes just 2 pitchers as the Philadelphia A's go to Cleveland. Relief pitcher Eddie Rommel is forced to go 17 innings and gives up 29 knocks in an 18-17 victory for the A's.
Ice my body. Are you kidding me?
And they complain now. He went an inning and a third yesterday. You got to be shut down for days. Hey, Rommel, you got the next 17.
Yeah, go get him, kid.
Eddie, the way we're going to go about this here is if I walk out and I put up my right arm or my left arm, it's you either way. Oh, nice pickup. LeBlanc steals a hit from Fowler. So Dexter is the first out of the bottom of the 3rd. That'll bring up Johnny Herrera. Herrera hitting .372 over his last 20 ball games. And here's something interesting. The Rockies, with Johnny starting at second base since the injury to Tulowitzki, 16-8. And actually, there were a couple games in there where you got starts before Troy went down. The Rockies have played 20 games now without their all-star shortstop, and they're 14-6. Hairston finds Gonzalez. Nice catch. 2 outs. And one more note on that. The Rockies this year, without Troy, have figured a way to go 17-7. Let's wait till he comes back. Hey, only 7 days left for the Boys and Girls Club Rocky Mountain Raffle's second prize drawing. Entry deadline is Friday, July 16th. Go to RockyMountainRaffle.com to sign up for your chance to win $5 grand. Carlos Gonzalez line to deep left center is first time up.
What he has done against the National League West, and this is where you want your dominance because you play so many games against him, but in 34 games versus the National League West, he's hit .307, 11 home runs and 38 RBIs, and scored 29 runs. I've played a lot more games against him, I understand that. Yet, that's pretty good success.
Carlos was telling me today when he was growing up, he was always small. He said, I was a real skinny kid. He said, when I signed, I was about 150 pounds. And back then, they were unsure whether to make him a pitcher or have him be a position player. I think he made the right decision, though.
He might be added soon to the All-Star team. Did you guys see that Jason Hayward had to pull out in the National League All-Star game? Outfielder for the Braves.
I sure hope he gets that call because he deserves it.
Should happen tonight or tomorrow is what Major League Baseball is saying.
I don't know, what are the other choices?
Well, I don't know, but Paul Konerko, who was one of the four or five finalists in the American League when Justin Morneau was not able to play because of the concussion, he was just added today. So I got to believe it would have to be Carlos.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be wrong to go in any other direction than out of the group that the fans were voting on for 4 days. And 2 of those guys are there now. Votto got voted in, and of course Heath Bell took the place of Gallardo.
Right, and it would be an easy fit, outfielder for outfielder.
3-2 pitch is hit high and deep down the right field line. Home run distance, but foul. McCargo has mom in town, his brother, and they were just going to hang in Denver. They may be going on a road trip. And this ball's hit well to left field and deep and gone. Number 17, make it 2-0. Charlie Manuel, are you looking in?
Oh, Jeff, what a fun swing. As much as you see guys come around like Ubaldo Jimenez, you're starting to see a guy that would come around and be an all-star for a lot of years. This kid's still very young, getting stronger every day. Opposite field power. Play all 3 outfield positions.
He makes it look so easy, too, George. That's the other thing that just really kind of blows your mind because the game's not that easy, but the way he can go get a ball, catch a ball, hit a ball. I mean, that's why he should be an all-star.
He is the most natural all-around talent I have seen in a long, long time, and I can't think of who I'm thinking of beyond that. He is frightening in how talented he is. And the great thing about him, George and Jeff, he plays with a smile on his face every day.
That's the best part about him.
He's a great kid. Cargo goes opposite field, number 17. Rockies have a 2-0 lead on Wade LeBlanc. Melvin Mora and Carlos Gonzalez. AT&T trivia question tonight. The American League's currently enjoying a 13-game unbeaten streak at the All-Star Game. Of course, there was that notorious tie in 2002 when everybody ran out of pitchers. Which league has the most consecutive wins? Well, the Rockies have out-homered the Padres this year, that vaunted San Diego pitching staff, 17-3. How about that, Huey?
Well, that's part of the reason why they've been so successful against the Padres. Only lost to them 3 times this year. With 7-3 now against them.
Jason Hamill to Jerry Hairston. And there's a slider. He's done that a couple times now. Started off hitters with the slider.
Well, it's just so they don't look first pitch fastball and go to hitting that.
Well, the whole secret, and again, he's got to work hard and stuff so he can get away with some mistakes at times.
Is that a slider that backed up or a changeup, George?
Changeup at 84. But I think the best thing about what Hamill does, along with Chris and Olivo, both guys, and it all starts with Bob Apodaca, and that is having a scouting report and a plan. First, second time, third time through.
Johnny Herrera retires Jerry Hairston. Tonight's Fast Cash Sideline Report is brought to you by Fast Cash Gold Centers, where you'll always get 40% more for your gold. Here's Mark Stout.
Hey guys, I had an interesting conversation with Miguel Olivo today about a walk that he took last night in the win over the Padres off of Luke Gregerson. He told me it was the most important walk, the biggest walk in his career. Now, he doesn't walk a lot. He's got 118 in his career, but he felt it was the biggest one so he could get Hop and then Ian Stewart to the plate, of course. Left-handers after that. Miguel Olivo has played on some poor baseball teams. This is the first time that he's been on a team that is over 500 and doing well at the All-Star break. I also had a conversation with Houston Street about how Jason Kendall and Mark Kotsay told him when he was a rookie, do not take winning for granted. It doesn't happen every year, and that's the situation Miguel Olivo is in, having a great season, we think an All-Star season, and enjoying every minute of it, guys.
Yeah, he's a guy that plays with a smile on his face.
Well,
and when you've been traveling and you finally get the chance to not only be the everyday guy, be accepted the way he has on a team that's really good, special time.
Well, I think, too, a lot of players, particularly position guys, man, I want to go play Coors Field. I want to go play Coors Field because the hitters park, have a great year, go on the free agent market, and make some money based on what I did at Coors Field. Now people want to come to Coors Field and play for the Colorado Rockies because they know they have a chance to win.
Chase Headley's behind in the count, 1-2.
We got a great matchup going on in Philadelphia right now. Roy Halladay is the starter for Philly. They're knotted up 0-0 in the 8th inning. The story on this game, Travis Wood from Cincinnati, perfect game through 7 innings, his 3rd major league start.
Trouble is he's facing Roy Halladay. Swung on and missed.
Nasty.
Yeah, that was filthy. The back foot, 2 outs. That's the 2nd strikeout for Jason Hamill.
Great location on the Hyundai cam. You're going to see it. Hard slider, and then if they go to swing at it, there's not a whole lot. That ball almost hit him in the thigh. What a great pitch when you crowd the plate there.
You can't locate it any better than he just did right there. What a pitch. Nice, hard, tight slider.
Adrian Gonzalez hit a ground ball to the right side, right at where Clint Barmas is situated. 3 infielders on the right side. Mora is the only infielder on the left side. Padres leading the division by 2 games over the Rockies, 2.5 over the Dodgers, who lost already today. Cubs beat him 7-3.
He started for Chicago, or the Dodgers today. Was it Billingsley? I thought it was. I think that's his 2nd start since coming off the disabled list.
Billingsley. No, that was last night. Billingsley.
Eli.
That's another 1-2-3 inning for Jason Hamill. 4 innings, 12 set down to begin things. 2-0. Three-run bomb from Seth Smith, culminating a 9-run ninth inning to beat St. Louis. And then the next night it was Chris Iannetta walking off an 8-7 win. And then last night the grand slam from Ian Stewart. Our Antco Clutch Plays of the Week brought to you by Antco AA MCO. Chris Iannetta with a one-strike count against Wade LeBlanc. And this ball is hit in the air to shallow left center field. And the catch is made by Chris DeNorfield. Travis Wood, who's perfect through 7 2/3 now. The left-hander who was the Reds' minor league pitcher of the year last year. Also the Southern League pitcher of the year. 23-year-old. Not a big power guy, George. He's kind of like Wade LeBlanc, 5'11", mixes speeds. There's a base hit for Spilborghs. And that'll bring up Brad Eldred, who had a base hit his first time up. He's now perfect through 8. Reds are being shut out also. They have just 4 hits against Roy Halladay. And it is the year of the no-hitter, the year of the perfect game, the year of the missed perfect game. Armando Galarraga should have had one. Down low on Eldred. I love how Jim Tracy, Huey, describes Eldred. Like, hey, you're gonna see some balls fly a long way with this kid. He's gonna strike out, but you're gonna see some balls when he tags one, they stay tagged.
You know, it's kind of like Dave Kingman.
Yep.
Rob Deere, those type of guys, where he goes up there and you appreciate guys like that because they're going to swing for the fence and they're going to strike out and they're going to look silly sometimes. But I saw him in batting practice yesterday, put one up into the Todd Helton Burger area up onto the concourse during batting practice. And I was just like, uh-oh, that is just silly power.
Yeah, that's not right.
No, because you have to supply all the power then. Your batting practice pitch is showing 58, 60 miles an hour.
Spilborghs chased back to first.
Well, LeBlanc does have 6 pickoffs this year, second to Mark Burley, who has 7.
Well, the guy they're going to face tomorrow, Clayton Richard, very good.
Yeah, he has the best one out of them all, George.
He shuts it down.
Yeah. LeBlanc, I think you can read a little bit easier than you can Richard. But LeBlanc does other things where he'll hold guys a little bit longer. That slide step, look at you, pick to first, look at you, go home.
Strike 3 on Eldred. Surprised him, I think, with that fastball. 2 outs. That'll bring up Barmes. 3 strikeouts for LeBlanc. Here's the Mika hit zone on Clint Barmes. So Mika, it's not how you were covered, it's how you're treated.
And everything down and away, that 184 average, so typical slider. Fastball up away from him, get you to chase the high fastball and ahead in the count.
The first pitch swinging against LeBlanc this year, the average hitting over 430 against him.
Troy Alba, by the way, has thrown out 26% of would-be base stealers, much better than what he did with the Rockies a year ago.
We heard that during spring training, that he was throwing much better. It's been borne out by what he's done in the first half of the season. Well, you got to step out on him, don't you?
I was wondering why Clint was waiting so long.
I thought Eldred on his on the 1-1 pitch to Brad, I thought he kind of locked himself up, didn't you, Hugh?
Yeah, I agree with you completely. You can't stand in there that long. You just freeze. If he waits more than 2 seconds out there and just kind of holding the ball, just call timeout so then you can relax those arms a little bit and get the muscles relaxed before you get back into that box.
Runner going. Toriyama's got no chance. The scoreboard's figured it out.
He either figured it out or he just took a gamble. You know, hoping that on this first move, I'm going. And that's exactly what he did. But did you notice what LeBlanc's head did as a pitcher? A lot of left-handers are this way. They start to focus to the plate. They can't, refocus and look at another position or what's going on because he had plenty of time to throw to first base with what he was doing.
And with the count being 2-0, they're going to go ahead, first base being open, pass on Barmes. And this is exactly what Jim Tracy wanted to see happen, is clear his pitcher off the deck this inning. If they pitch to Barmes, he throws out a hit, it's 3-0, and you clear the pitcher anyhow. If they go with this strategy, Hamill's up there in the 4th inning.
First stolen base for Spielberg's on the season is 1 for 5 now.
Hamill hit a ground ball to third his first time up, with runners at first and second. Same situation here. Rockies trying to extend their winning streak to 6 ball games. They're 7-1 on this homestand. That's out of play. And they are now 30-15 at home, with 30 wins matching Atlanta for the most wins in a home ballpark in the National League. And Hamill hits this one down the line, foul. Jason has a ribby this year. In his career, he's got 2 RBIs. 10 for 78. Blanc's thrown 72 pitches. He's not out of the 4th inning. And he strikes out Hamill. In the inning, Spilborgh's had a base hit. There was an intentional walk to Clint Barmes. 2 left aboard. Rockies up 2-0 as we go to the 5th. To you by Big Brothers Big Sisters. Donate your car and you'll get a free tow and tax break, and you'll help change a kid's life. By the Courtyard by Marriott on the 16th Street Mall. Call 303-571-1114 and ask about our hometown sports package. By Old Chicago, eat, drink, and be yourself. And by the Great Colorado Payback, reuniting you with your money. Rockies up 2-0 on a pair of solo home runs. Melvin Mora, Carlos Gonzalez, Jason Hamill. There's not a lot of base runner. We go to the 5th. Scott Hairston, Yorvi Torrealba, and Aaron Cunningham. Hairston popped to 3rd, his first time. And he gets fisted to shallow left, and this is going to be the first knock. So we're talking about a perfect game in Philadelphia. This one in the 5th inning gets broken up on that bloop single by Scott Hairston.
Well, you can tell by the effort Clint Barmes, he's watched the scoreboard. He realizes he's working into the 5th inning, and they did not have a hit yet. So when this ball was jammed, he took off like a rabbit, man. He's trying to get to this thing to preserve the no-hitter for Jason Hamill. Unfortunately, it just far enough out of his reach.
This is where the strength of Scott Harrison came in.
Torrealba grounded to short his first time up. The Padres have a run differential this year of plus 72. It's #1 in the National League. They scored 72 more runs than the opposition. And that is a base hit to right. Spilborgh's quickly to the baseball, and he hits Barmes. So now you have 2 on and nobody out. And Chris Iannetta will wander out to visit with Jason Hamill.
Hey, bike to the game tomorrow, and you can win a prize. You going to ride your bicycle?
Yeah.
You are?
Yeah.
Well, okay. Go to ColoradoRockies.com/green for more information about this. So what time are you leaving to come in?
I'm not. I'm going to just stay here and then ride it down the hallway.
Well, that's not riding it to the game.
I would like to ride my bike one day to the game. That would be fun.
I'm saying you make it like halfway and then you call for help. Just halfway. That'd be about your 8 to 10 miles and be done. You'd be done.
I think Jeff and I are going to do that one day. What do you think, Huey?
Well, not tomorrow. I'm going to the cabin after the game up to the mountains.
It won't be tomorrow. Aaron Cunningham takes low. See if Hamill can work out of this situation. 2 on and nobody out.
George, how difficult is it to go into the 5th inning and it's the first time you've had to throw out of the stretch?
It's a little bit of difficulty. Typically, a lot of guys have a regime that they go through, Jeff, on the mound at the last pitch, to throw down to second base. A lot of times they'll go to the stretch position. But if you haven't been there, it's when you make mistakes, get too quick, your arms are late, fastballs get up in the strike zone.
On that fly ball, Hairston will tag and move to third, so it's 1st and 3rd, 1 out, and Chris DeNorfia coming up.
Well, I think it helps him a little bit. He's at the bottom of their lineup. I think that helps him a little bit. The opposition since May 27th has hit just a $132 off of Hamill with runners in scoring position.
Now the perfect game is gone in the 9th inning. Carlos Ruiz, the Phillies catcher, ripped a double to left center field against Wood.
Well, we might have another Harvey Haddix.
Yeah, well, that's what we were talking about a moment ago. Haddix, of course, went 12 innings of perfect baseball and then lost in the 13th in 1959.
That's amazing.
Pedro Martinez went into the 10th inning with a perfect game in 95 and gave up a hit in the 10th. 1-0. And now the kid, base hit and he gets walked off on. They're in Philadelphia. Got the winning run at second base. It's 2-0. Padres with that plus 72 run differential coming in. Scored the fewest runs, though, in the National League West. That's way inside, 3-0. But they've allowed the fewest runs at 293. The Rockies are plus 45, which is the 2nd best mark in the division.
Well, for San Diego, it's that bullpen. They just get whatever lead it is, and then they just shut it down.
Unless they're facing the Rockies.
Well, yes.
Rockies have gotten after that bullpen. Hamill's got to refocus here. And he gets it in there for a strike. 3-1. He's just a pitch away from getting out of this. He gets one on the ground. DeNorfia runs pretty well, but he's running out of the right side. But he lost him. So now the bases are loaded. And Everett Cabrera coming up. And Hamill's trying to take a chunk out of his glove. So the bases loaded for Cabrera, who struck out looking his first time on a 3-2 pitch. Repair that chip in your windshield. Call Safelite Elite Auto Glass at 303-287-5000 or go to safelight.com.
The good thing is you've got Cabrera up there. We know about his numbers, but about 30% of the time from the left side, he strikes out. He is a difficult man to double up, though, just because of his speed and also hitting out of the left side of the box.
And then the walk forces a tying run to second base. Hamill's pitched a beautiful ball game. This is the first time he's been stressed here in the 5th inning. Loop single, sharp single by Torrealba after the Hairston loop. Cunningham flew out and then a walk to DeNorfia. So here's Cabrera.
1 for 3 with the bases loaded.
On the corner.
That might be one of the rare times that you see the pitching coach come out and the first pitch afterwards is a changeup. Most of the time it's that fastball.
0-2. George, there's a lot of pitching coaches that don't like first pitch changeup because you're not changing speeds off of anything. So you subscribe to that?
No, I don't. I think if you got a very good changeup, why not use it? And use it at any count. Use it wherever, even though it's on a first pitch. You know what? Throw them 2 changeups, see if they adjust to a 90-mile-an-hour fastball. It's not going to work for it.
0-2. Boy, he went after it. That was not a waste pitch at all.
He's trying to get a young hitter to swing the ball up and a little bit out of the zone, which is one of the most difficult pitches to hit for a left-handed bat. See how he tries to rise up into the zone. He hit exactly the target where Chris wanted. Not a strike, but the target where he wanted.
Breaking ball. Ripped to first. Eldred with a great play and nearly was able to get Denorfia.
And if he would have looked to second right away, he would have had Torrealba out at second. But your natural reaction is to go get the guy that's right in front of you. That ball was hit right on the line. He thought maybe he could tag him, but Denorfia is too quick to get back to the bag.
Now Denorfia 6 for 25 at the plate this year, so he's not an automatic out. Or did I say LeBlanc or Denorfia?
Denorfia.
Yeah,
but
LeBlanc.
I knew who you meant.
Yeah. Strike 1 on LeBlanc.
Some other guys in the booth, I'm not sure who's hitting sometimes.
You don't want to lose your concentration here. Well, that's a good pitch. 94 on the knuckles.
Get off me, ball.
You like this Rockies crowd. They're getting into it the way this club has played, with 2 strikes, 2 outs in the 5th and a 2-0 lead on their feet.
And it's a big crowd. I expect more than 40,000 tonight. 0-2 on Wade LeBlanc. Rockies up 2-0. Top of inning number 5. Padres have the bases loaded. And that is a foul ball.
It was almost like Brad Hobbs hit last night that just went foul.
Tell you what, Denorfia runs really well. He was almost at third base. That would have cleared the bags. How about that? Buck 25 average, runners in scoring position against Hamill since late May. The 0-2 again. Here we go. Great job of pitching by Jason Hamill. He works out of a 1-out bases loaded situation, and the Rockies continue to lead 2-0. Here's tonight's Colorado Mining Association Power Hit of the Week. Ian Stewart had a couple of power hits yesterday. 2-run home run and, of course, the grand slam. That was the difference in last night's affair. Rockies winning 10-8. What mineral produces clean, emission-free power that accounts for 20% of the nation's electricity? It's uranium, and it's mined right here in Colorado. Top of the order for the Rockies in the bottom of the fifth. George, nice job by Jason Hamill working out of a situation.
Well, to me, that's where he has matured as a pitcher. Last year, he hit a little bit of a speed bump. He's kind of struggled to get over it sometimes. Sometimes he didn't make it out of it. All of a sudden, Jim Tracy's giving him confidence by saying, you know what, bud, it's your game. Not coming to get you. You're going to finish the inning.
Here's Dexter, 0 for 2, strikeout, and a comebacker. Dexter hitting .424 coming in the month of July. Top 3 hitters for the Rockies all hitting above .400 in July. Home runs by Melvin Mora in the second and Carlos Gonzalez in the third. The Rockies leading this ball game 2-0. 1-1, and Dexter lifts it in the air to right. Cunningham now battling the wind. Well, I say battling the wind. The way he went after it, I thought he was battling the wind, Jeff, but the flags aren't moving.
No, earlier in the ball game they were, and then maybe that threw him off. But you're supposed to check those flags, throw up some grass, whatever you can do. But now there's no wind up there whatsoever. Valiant effort right off the end of it, but I think he was just playing over into the gap just a little bit, allowed him to not reach that ball.
You know, but I don't know why he'd be into the gap into there because he's pitching him away.
I think he's moved over a little bit now.
Yeah, he just moved 3 or 4 strides to the line. Inside.
Yeah, plus a young kid in the outfield. Hasn't played very many ball games. So, you know, he may be hunting for the right ways to go and be in position to make a catch.
Pulled the string again and strikes out Dexter. So there's 1 out. That'll bring up Johnny Herrera. We answer our AT&T trivia question. American League is enjoying a 13-game unbeaten streak in the All-Star game. There was a tie in 0-2. Which league has the most consecutive wins? It's actually the National League. They won 11 straight between 72 and 82.
First curveball he has thrown for a strike. By the way, Dexter Fowler, 37 hits to the right side. That even indicates that they should be playing him a little bit more.
Yeah, but that's hard to determine, George, because it's, you know, he's a switch hitter.
Well, it is, but the thing about it is, Drew, with that, you know what you're doing if you pitch to your defense, whether you're left or right-handed side of where he goes. There's only 7 hits to the left side of the infield. So that's a combination of what's going on. 37 hits to the right, 7 to the left. So
2-1 on Jonathan Herrera. 3-1. Got Cargo on deck.
Jorvik is really telling LeBlanc to keep that left or that right shoulder for him closed. He's starting to fly open a little bit.
They start to get rotational side to side versus up and down. When you do that, the arm's going to drop. You're going to push the baseball, and you're not going to have nearly the command you would normally.
Well, Johnny rarely fires at that 3-1 pitch. But he's a comfortable 2-strike hitter. A guy who really understands his role.
And understands his swing, too. That's pretty impressive for a young kid.
This ball's hit pretty well right center field, and it's going to run to the wall. Extra bases for Herrera. He's kicking it in, headed to third, throw on the way, out at third base. Beautiful relay, and Herrera's cut down. Jerry Hairston to Chase Headley.
Now you want to have your strongest arm get out into the outfield. It's going to have to make the longest throw. Weaker arm gets behind him. They had everything lined up. San Diego did. They had a good arm get a hold of the baseball. When he does, he just spins and fires, but you need to throw a strike. It doesn't bother me he got thrown out of third base because there had to be a lot of strikes thrown in order to have this spot to call him out. Watch him come into third base one more time, trying to get away from it. Tag very quickly, but you can see where Gary Cedarstrom was, too.
High, deep to right, and does it have enough? Not quite. On the warning track, Carlos Gonzalez had that high fly ball die. He missed it by a smidgen. To 62. 2 All-Star games were actually played each season. The National League beat the junior circuit 5-2, and there was one tie. Waldo Jimenez, Troy Tulowitzki going to the All-Star game. Troy will be there in full uniform. Obviously can't participate. He's rehabbing the broken wrist. And as Jeff Houston reported earlier, it looks like Jason Hayward won't be making the trip. He's been on the disabled list, the rookie for Atlanta. The National League will need another outfielder, so Carlos Gonzalez may be getting a call here either late tonight or sometime tomorrow. He came oh so close to trotting around the bases again a moment ago. In fact, off the bat, I thought he hit that in the upper deck. Johnny Herrera catches a soft liner. Jerry Hairston's retired, 1 out in the 6th inning. Did you know that you could sign up for an in-home energy audit and learn simple ways to save around your house with Excel Energy? Visit responsiblebynature.com to learn more. Chase Headley will step up. Headley, ground ball to first and a strikeout. Went to University of Pacific out of high school down in Colorado Springs, and then transferred to the University of Tennessee. Become a solid major league player. Was always coming up through the minor league system. The Padres, one of their most talked about prospects. And he's done a good job making the transition back to third base. He was originally, like so many kids, a shortstop growing up. Then he was moved to the outfield.
Just a lot of extra ground balls in spring training. That's all it takes.
0-2, and he's gone again on a breaking ball down and in. That's strikeout number 4 for Jason Hamm.
Now there's 15-game mini plans. They're now available. It includes great games and an opportunity. If the Rockies happen to get to the postseason, you would have an opportunity to buy some tickets for postseason. 303 Rockies, ColoradoRockies.com.
2 outs. Adrian Gonzalez will step up. Twice he's hit it on the ground to Clint Barmas into that shift. Now, Jim Tracy has to be pleased with what he's seen so far, because the Rockies have won 5 in a row, and they've had a wonderful week. It's been a thrilling ride, particularly late in ball games with all the comebacks, all the theatrics. But As nice as that is, and as much as he's enjoying it, he wants to see quality starting pitching night in and night out, as he was getting, guys, basically the first 2.5 months of the season. Because this week, until Hamill's performance tonight, the starting pitching, save Ubaldo, was not very good, to be honest.
No, it wasn't, and that's what you want. You want your pitchers to go out there and set the tone.
It hadn't been good early, but to put a little cap to that, 17-3 at home. So the starting rotation for the Colorado Rockies. That's a pretty good number.
Oh, it's a great number. But you're not going to outscore them and rely on 6, 7, 8 runs after the 7th inning every night. That pitch just missed. So Adrian Gonzalez with 2 outs will go to first, and that'll bring up Scott Hairston.
By the way, those numbers, 17-3, that's the current Rockies starting rotation right now. With everybody back in it with De La Rosa.
You got to be careful right here with Scott Hairston. You can't throw him a first pitch fastball inside.
Looks like he cheats on it a lot.
He does. I'd like to see maybe a hard slider away from him, or just a fastball on the outside corner.
Stay out of his wheelhouse.
Yeah.
He got the slider and he missed with it. Chris Iannetta and Jason Hamill thinking right along with you.
Are you giving signs down there?
Yeah, that's what he was just looking over. No. He's looking for Tommy Runnels, see if he wanted him to throw it at first.
He jammed him, and he gets a pop-up to Johnny Herrera. Good pitch by Hamill. Another strong inning. Middle of 6th, the Rockies leading the Padres 2-0. Mora, Iannetta, and Spilborghs when we return. Camp. Melvin Moore got a hanging hook in the 2nd inning and deposited over the left field wall for his first Colorado Rockies home run. Our Coors Light freeze can. Moore will lead it off here against Wade LeBlanc, who's really pitched another good ball game, George, but he's down 2-0.
Well, there's only been 7 hits total in the ball game.
For Moore, that was career home run number 165. Career high 27 in home runs, twice with Baltimore. Also hit 23 with the Orioles just a couple of years ago in 2008. Last year he hit 8 home runs. Batted .260 in his final season in Baltimore. That's in there for a strike.
You know what? He worked on his curveball the last 2 innings. When he warms up, those 8-10 pitches he takes. He's worked on the curveball about 60% of the time. You're starting to see better results out of the breaking ball.
Change up off the curveball, and it's 0-2. Melvin Mora, a native of Venezuela, makes his home now in suburban Baltimore. just missed. With his wife and 6 children, including his quintuplets, of course.
Oh boy.
Deep short, Cabrera. And he got Mora by a quarter of a step. One out, that'll bring up Chris Iannetta. Let's take a look at tonight's Quest high-speed pitch, brought to you by Quest, the high-speed internet provider of the Rockies. LeBlanc, 89. Jason Hamill, he'll run it up in the mid-90s. In his last start, we even saw 97 on one delivery from him. Iannetta, ground ball to third and a fly ball to center field. One and one. That's there, 1 and 2. The Rockies right now are set up with 2 games left. This one and tomorrow before the All-Star break. Set up really to have the best first half they've ever had. A lot of concerns the first 2.5 months or so. Rockies weren't winning any comfort behind games. No dramatic victories as we've seen all week long. This has popped up. Adrian Gonzalez will have it. Weren't scoring a lot of runs. Were pitching well. The bullpen had been great from the get-go. And that was a concern coming out of spring training. The Rockies were basically a 500 team. Now they're 10 north of 500. And they're really positioned well for the second half. Hey, only 7 days left for the Boys and Girls Club Rocky Mountain Raffle. Second prize drawing, and the entry deadline is this Friday. Go to RockyMountainRaffle.com to sign up for your chance to win $5,000. Spillboard's 1 for 2.
I'm going to go back to that point for a second, Drew. I think a lot of the credit has to go to Jim Tracy and the even hand and just the way he's just guided this team from opening day.
Well, never panic.
Right.
You know, he's 2 things. He's a lot of things. He's relentlessly positive. He's also very honest. He's honest in appraising his players individually and collectively, and he is always behind them. And when you're in this game for a long time, especially as a manager, you understand the length of the season, the ebb and flow of a season.
Well, some do, some don't. I mean, I think he's a wonderful exception to the rules, the way he handles things. You know, it's just like when they lose Tulowitzki, they lose on a streak for so long. Guys in the rotation, and they'd lose 2 in a row. People would panic, and he'd say to me privately, he said, "It's June 15th. June 15th. Got a long ways to go," and he carried that over to the ball club.
Well, there's always baby steps too. Okay, let's get to 500, and then let's get 3 games over, and then they were 5. Okay, the mark is when we get 10 games over. And I mean, it was always small steps. It wasn't, oh boy, we got this big huge hill to climb up.
Brad Eldred at the plate, 1 for 2. This ball's hit a long way to right center. Did he get it? Yes, he did. Back wall of the bullpen. 4-0 Colorado. That's what he can do when he runs into the baseball.
That sounded like a cannon going off down here.
That is one strong man.
You know, and you called it right, Drew. Does he have enough? But I think the only guy that saw when it left the bat, watch his reaction. Okay, that's one. I mean, it's just a soft jog knowing this ball's had left the yard. Oh, man.
Yeah, Jeff, this is going to sound silly.
Yeah.
I don't even know if he got that good.
Well, I think he did, though, because just the sound down here at field level. That was the only reason.
This is hit hard. Barnes past Adrian Gonzalez. See how they score that.
Well, Adrian Gonzalez looked immediately after it went by him and looked at the ground like maybe it caught something, a spike mark. But I think he just hit it too hard by him.
Another pretty good pitching coach in the National League West, Darren Balsley, coming out to visit with LeBlanc.
This is the first home run for Brad Eldred since April 25th, 2007. He has spent a lot of time in AAA since then.
And how about the adjustment from him, too? Because he knew that they were going to work him away. And so what did he do? He looked away and drove the ball that way.
It's not his first career home run at Coors Field. He had one back with the Pirates. Edward Mejica is throwing for San Diego. This is another base hit, this for Hamill. That's 4 straight knocks, so they haven't given Clint Barmes a hit yet officially. We're giving him one. And now they just made Barmes's shot to right a base hit, so it's 4 straight knocks.
You can see what happened. Bud Black is telling Torey Alva to go out and visit. Going out to visit a little bit with LeBlanc to buy some more time. Allow Mejica to get it loose.
What did it, George, when you were in that situation, every pitcher's been in that situation. When the catcher came out and you knew it was the grand stall, typically, what's the conversation? Do you even bother talking about it?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. You're talking about the previous pitch. Where was it? You know you're coming out, but you're going to make a good pitch, bad pitch. Did I hit the location? Was I off a little bit? Maybe we should have gone with this. You know you're coming out of the ball game. The damage is done.
So here comes Bud. And Bud Black will go to Mejica as LeBlanc was pitching a good ball game. But then with 2 outs, Spilborg shot one to right. Brad Eldred shot one over the wall to right center. Barmes a base hit. Hamill a base hit. And Bud Black trying to keep the Padres in touch with the Rockies. Drive it today. Padres tomorrow afternoon, then the All-Star break. The road after that will be difficult. The Rockies will play the Central Division leading Cincinnati Reds for 3 ball games. The always salty Florida Marlins for 4, George, and then the Philadelphia Phillies for 4. That's an 11-game excursion that you playing very good teams.
Well, you're playing the Cincinnati Reds. They've got a 2-game lead. You're also going to have to face probably Harang, Arroyo, Leak, some guys that know how to pitch over there. Then you got to go to Florida. More than likely, you're going to catch Johnson, and you go to Philly, and you're going to catch Halliday.
Dexter Fowler at the plate. And the first pitch from Edward Mejica is fouled off. Tonight's call to the bullpen is brought to you by Comcast Digital Home Phone Service. Warm up to unlimited local and long distance. Call 1-800-COMCAST.
Well, the overall numbers, 35th game to appear in. Pretty good earned run average, 43 strikeouts and 41 2/3 innings. He's inherited 9 runners when he came into the ball game. 3 of those have scored.
One thing he does do a lot of, though, give up the long ball. 10 home runs this year. It's the second most among all major league relievers. He gave up a long ball to Clint Barmas when he came into the ball game down in San Diego.
And there's a couple of that's amazing because he pitches at Petco half the time. And the other thing, the fact that the Rockies have now out-homered the Padres 18-3, that's amazing. 18 home runs against the San Diego Padres. And again, the Rockies have had to play him at Petco twice. Bullpen ERAs, the Padres #1. Atlanta #2. 1-2 on Dexter Fowler. And this goes off of Mejica, and he's still able to get Fowler. In the inning, the Rockies get a pair of runs on the 2-run shot by Brad Elliott, his first in a Rockies. Inning. Carlos Gonzalez came up and he hit one in the opposite field for Gonzalez, his 17th home run of the year, 2-0. And then a few moments ago, Brad Elliott with a man aboard, rips one to right center. To the back wall of the Rockies bullpen, 4-0. That's brought to you by Cooney Lexus, where luxury has an address. There's Brad Eldred. Jason Hamill, shutout baseball through 6 innings. Earlier this year, he had a shutout string of 25 1/3 innings. Torey Alba swings at the first pitch, fouls it off.
Well, this is a big inning, too, for Jason. Now, you've got that 4-run lead. Don't let San Diego feel like they could even get back into this ball game by giving up a run or two. Just go ahead and shut them down. Get that offense back into the dugout.
And that's going to be another hit for Torey Alba. His second of the night. And he'll make a wide turn. And with his club down 4-0, makes the prudent decision of going back to first. So a leadoff single for Torrealba. That'll bring up Aaron Cunningham. With that base hit, Jorvic's average in the mid-280s. He has caught more games than anybody else in Rockies history. 291 starts for Colorado behind the plate. Torrealba. Cunningham's 0 for 2. Hamill was perfect through 4. And then Hairston leading off the 5th got jammed and with a little Texas leaguer over Clint Barmas. And the next man up was Torrealba, and he ripped a line drive single to right. With 1 out after a walk to Chris Denorfia, the bases were loaded, but Hamill got a line out and a punch out to get out of that jam.
If you haven't taken a tour of Coors Field, it's really kind of neat because you can go behind the scenes, you go into one of the dugouts and the locker rooms, and Drew Goodman's personal dressing room and makeup artist and the whole thing. I mean, it's a great tour of the ballpark. Individual tickets are available, or you can take a group.
I'd like to take a tour of that dressing room. I haven't seen that yet. No. Full foul, 2-2.
I was going to say, he has one. We don't, George?
I don't want one.
Okay.
Huey does wear makeup every night.
He does?
I wasn't supposed to tell. No, he doesn't. I was only kidding.
Hey, by the way, Huey, you know Mustache Night's coming up, so I think it's like August 27th or 28th.
Better start.
We got about 15 days to let them grow.
Okay.
All right. I'm in. If the rest of you guys will join, I'm in.
You're the expert on mustache.
Yeah, I'm wearing one.
Here's the 2-2. 3-2. I don't think I've ever seen one of your baseball cards where you didn't have a mustache.
Well, and you know what? I think there's one. Maybe with the Cubs or somebody. That's pretty good. Not enough far off of the plate unless it's just down a little bit. Beimel and Belial. The bee stings warming up.
This ball's hit well left center field, and Cargo can't get it. This is going to score Jorvic Torrealba. It's a double for Aaron Cunningham, 4-1.
He's hit the ball well since he's come up from the minor leagues. Picks up an RBI, his 10th, hitting .340 before he came into the day.
Got a 9-game hitting streak.
Yep. This ball's hit pretty hard. Hanging slider, up in the strike zone. Cargo took the angle, thought he could get there, just didn't. Just came up a little bit short. In the Hyundai cam, it tips the end of the glove. Man, that's how close a play that was.
How large is that 2-run home run last inning now by Brad Eldred? Beimel on the left side, Matt Belial on the right side. There's nobody out. Eldred gave the Rockies a 4-0 lead. Now it's 4-1. Chris Denorfia out of the 7 hole. 0 for 1 and a walk. Ground ball to short. Barnes. 1 out. I'll bring up Cabrera. .86 pitches tonight for Hamill. Another terrific outing. In his last start, he threw 7 shutout innings against the Giants. And then in the 8th, you had a home run and then a ground ball down the first base line that turned into an inside the park home run.
Or the 29 hopper, as Jason said.
Yeah, the 29 hopper by Torres. pitch. 0-2. I know Cabrera's been out a month this year. His average below 200. He doesn't look like the same hitter we saw last year.
He looks overmatched right now. Last year I didn't think so much, but this year, and maybe it is because he took that month off with the hamstring issue a couple different times.
He had 255 last year, hung in there, and that's going to sneak through, and it is going to bring home another run. And now it's a 4-2 ball game. 14th RBI for Cabrera.
Well, it sneaks through, and I mean, again, Elder does a nice job trying to get over and stop the ball, at least keep it out in front of him. See the break a little bit. He had a little bit of a jump, didn't he, Huey? When the ball was hit, it was like get my balance and then go get it versus break immediately to the ball.
You play your Matt Stairs card here?
Well, they've got some choices here. Getting the latter part of the ball game. You know you're going to get up seeing Bible. I think Tony Gwynn Jr. is going to hit again. He hit a double last night, pinch hitting.
And now you got a choice if you're Jim Tracy, too. Let Hamill go after him, or you bring in Bible for this guy.
I think Bud Black realized that if he rolled Matt Stairs out there, then Jim Tracy was going to go to Joe Bible.
I think this guy right back here helped him too a little bit. Dak's checking to see if they're both ready to go, but I mean, I think Ted Simmons, hey, whoa, don't run him up there right now.
Gwynn had a pinch hit double yesterday. Tracy's going to go and get Bible to face Gwynn. So it's a 6 1/3 inning outing for Jason Hamill. Another very good performance by Hamill. For Cabrera at first, he's given up a couple of runs. Rockies up 4-2. Matt Belisle will take over. Let's take a look at our Breaks Plus poll of the game Saturday night. Trying to get to the final four of our ballpark food poll. And Cracker Jacks, as we thought. Georgia Jeff winning decidedly over pretzels tonight.
No real surprise there.
0.
Yeah.
They have a chance to get to the championship game.
Well, the problem with pretzels, you have to decide between salted or unsalted.
Lots of mustard and cheese.
Yeah. A lot more options.
Tony Gwynn steps up. Matt Belisle ready to work.
Well, now with the Padres sending Tony Gwynn up there, allowed Jim Tracy to bring in Matt Belisle, who has outstanding numbers. You see only 11 walks in the 40 games, and save your lefty out there, Joe Beimel.
Well, he's saving for Gonzalez.
Yep.
When he comes up. The other thing about Belisle, 234 is what they've hit off of him. Men in scoring position, or on base, I should say. He's inherited 12 base runners. 8 of them haven't scored. Well, let's look at the efficiency of being able to retire leadoff men. He's done it 71% of the time.
One and one. Good speed at the plate, good speed at first base in Cabrera. Rockies have out-hit the Padres 9-5. This is a double play ball. There's one. There's two. Well done. Matt Belisle gets Tony Gwynn to ground into a 6-4-3. Barmes pats Herrera on the back. 4-2 ball game. Home Depot doing more on defense. Just a great relay for the Padres. Johnny Herrera trying to turn a double into a triple. And only a great relay would catch him. Good throw by Jerry Hairston and Chase Headley. Good tag. The Home Depot doing more on defense. Rockies leading 4-2. Johnny Herrera will lead things off. And there's a new pitcher out there for the San Diego Padres, Ryan Webb, who appeared in last night's ball game. Third pitcher now utilized by Bud Black. Webb went an inning yesterday and gave up 3 runs on 3 hits.
Good fastball command typically. You see the earned run average, pretty good earned run average. The opposition not hitting a whole lot against him, but 221.
Herrera, Gonzalez, and Mora. Rolling one on Johnny. With that base hit, Johnny's got a 10-game hitting streak.
A Well, I think, and Jeff would probably agree with me. They all remember the home runs. They don't remember what the little guys are doing.
Right.
I think all the big guys are getting the headlines. It's like the starter and the closer.
Those role players, the guys that know exactly what they have to do is to get on base for the big boppers.
And you know what makes them really good for me? They don't need to see their name in headlines. They accept the role, play it to the max, and do a good job. They're really appreciated by teammates and manager.
And at the end of the day, that's what matters.
You better believe it.
1-2 on Herrera. Johnny had one of his children, his little boy, in the clubhouse tonight. He's an adorable little kid, and everybody's out on the field for picture day. Folks can, all the fans can line up and get pictures with their favorite Rocky. And he was tired because he was taking batting practice earlier. So when I went by, he was, because he's little, he was sound asleep in Dad's chair in front of his locker. Curled up, it was like a king-size bed for him. BP can be tiring, huh, Huey?
At that age especially.
Yeah.
Running around, picking up all the balls.
Here's the 2-2. Swung on and missed, and Herrera's gone. We check in with Mark Stout. It's our Great Colorado Payback Sideline Report.
All right, guys, I'm above San Diego's pen. The bullpen's got the top ERA in the National League. They've bonded. They have T-shirts. They call themselves the Penitentiary. They've got the NL under lockdown. Got a logo and everything. Luke Gregerson, the ringleader of this, he had his tattoo artist come up with the logo. They've made T-shirts. Gregerson's one of those guys that's a little out there. Skateboards to work at Petco Park, lives in downtown San Diego. 28th round pick of the Cardinals, came over in the Khalil Green deal, but he's helped this team bond in terms of the pen, and they've got the best numbers in the National League. The Penitentiary, you like that?
It's unique.
Catching.
They didn't have nicknames for pens back in your day, did they, George?
No. Good or bad?
You know, they just had a nickname for the entire club, the Bronx Zoo. Here's the 0-1 inside. Gonzalez tonight, a line drive to deep left, a home run to left, and a fly ball to the warning track in right. Throw it anywhere near the plate and you flirt with disaster. Huey, here's the home run.
Well, second time he's gotten Wade LeBlanc for a solo shot. The one in San Diego was a pull to the right field line. This time he takes an ACO and about 3 rows back. Just silly power.
Leading the Rockies with 17 home runs. We're going to get him here. 2 outs. And that'll bring up Melvin Mora. Repair that chip in your windshield now. Call SafeLight Elite Auto Glass at 303-287-5000 or go to safelight.com. You know, looking at the National League leaders in home runs. Gonzalez is in the top 10 now with those 17. Joey Votto and Adam Dunn both have 22. Pujols has 21. Corey Hart 20. Mark Reynolds 19. Prince Fielder 19. Adrian Gonzalez has 18. And then Howard, Huff, Rowland, and Cargo was 17. One strike.
How many first basemen were on that list?
Well, Votto's first baseman,
yeah.
Dunn's a first baseman, Pujols a first baseman. That's 3. Fielder, Adrian 5, Howard 6. Aubrey Huff can play there. 6.5.
Wow.
That's why Joey Votto, who's an MVP candidate right now at the midway point, had to, you know, he wasn't even on the original All-Star team. He had to be voted in by the fans in that that final vote, if you will, with Carlos Gonzalez being one of the candidates. 1-2. 2-2.
Hey, another guy's gotten hot, former Rocky Matt Holliday, 47 RBIs, and I think it's 14, 15 home runs. That all started here at Coors Field last week.
Yeah, he's done a lot of his damage against his 2 former clubs, Oakland and Colorado.
Last night it was in Houston, and Houston beat them today 4-1.
Three and 2. Hasn't been a particularly good road trip for the Cardinals heading into the break.
Well, how hot is Atlanta? They win again tonight, 4-0. Tim Hudson got the win. Remain 4 games up in the East.
This is pulled toward the hole on the outfield grass. Cabrera safe. You know, Mora had that bang play, Jeff Houston, last time where Cabrera just got him, and Melvin saying, I may be 38, but you're not going to do it again.
I sniffed this one out. He's out there yelling at him because Cabrera almost robbed him again. The only difference here, though, is this ball took him all the way into the outfield, took him about 3 steps before he could gather himself and allow Melvin to get to first on another bang play. Well, that just shows you the range. We saw the range last night for Cabrera going to his left and stopping a ball off of Miguel Olivo right up the middle. That time he goes to his right.
Pretty close play.
Yeah.
Chris Iannetta takes strike 1. Chris is 0 for 3. Ground ball to third, fly ball to center field, and he popped to Gonzalez at first. In the air to center field. 7 innings complete at 20th and Blake. Rockies 4. And the Padres 2. Moore giving a hard time to Cabrera. Hits as well, 10-5. Top of inning number 8, Matt Belisle, who got the final 2 outs of the 7th inning, will face the top of the Padres order in the 8th. Jerry Hairston, Chase Headley, Adrian Gonzalez.
And I think you'll see 2 of the 3. If one of them gets on, I think you're going to see Beimel to come on and face the left-handed hitting Gonzalez.
Well, he also might flip Chase Headley over to the right side where he's only hitting 195.
Yep, they did that last night.
Well, Betancourt's throwing along with Beimel. Beimel.
The killer bees.
Yeah. The guys that get a lot of people out.
How about this crowd? 45,069. And also over 10,300 folks walked up and bought tickets today, which is a new single season or single day of game record for walk-up ticket sales at Coors Field. Thank you very much. Let's see an outstanding team play baseball. 1-2. And they're playing an exciting brand of baseball. 1-2 on Hairston. Pop up left side. Barnes waiting.
The Rockies dugout stores have everything you need to get geared up for the summer in the Colorado Rockies and a whole bunch of baseball. 303-832-TEAM or go to ColoradoRockies.com to find the location nearest you.
Well, they're going to do exactly what they did last night. Jim Tracy's going to flip around Chase Headley. And Moore is going to come out. Stewart's going to come into the ball game. Matt Belisle pitches to 2 hitters and he gets 3 outs. Another great job by Matt Belisle. Rockies 4 and the Padres 2 with 1 out in the top of the 8th inning. Number 97 on the hill when we return. Is brought to you by Ecotech Institute in Denver, where you can make the world your workplace. Rockies got solo home runs from Moore in the second, Gonzalez in the third, 2-run shot from Brad Eldred in the sixth. They led 4-0. Padres got 2 in the seventh. It's 4-2 with 1 out in the 8th inning. That's your Ecotech Institute game summary. Rockies with the double switch. Ian Stewart comes in for Melvin Moore at third base. He'll hit in the 9-hole. And Joe Bima with 1 out, nobody on, will face Chase Headley. He faced Headley in last night's ball game in the 8th inning. Got him to hit into a double play. He's not going to get him to hit into a double play here, Jeff.
Well, that's good. Does that mean there was somebody else on base?
That's right. Strike 1. Headley's 0 for 3 in the game. Adrian Gonzalez on deck.
It's nice you got the double switch because now you've got Ian Stewart and his defense over at third base.
And this will pop up to Spilborghs in right field. Two outs. And Bima will steer down Adrian Gonzalez.
It's so nice to see this guy coming to the plate with nobody on, down by 2.
Lefties this year 9 for 49 against Joe. Here's 3 for their last 23, in fact.
And he's 4 for 26 against Joe. Gonzalez is.
1 strike count on Adrian Gonzalez. Shift on again. That breaking ball on the outside part of the plate. It was too far inside.
Not quite the shift that they had earlier. It is with the, Clint Barmas, Jonathan Herrera, but Ian Stewart's not quite as far over now.
Yeah, you pitch him away though. The outfield, Dexter playing in left center. Big hole in right center.
2 balls and a strike. Rockies bullpen 4-1 with a 3.73 ERA in the month of July. Two and two.
Man, is that not something beautiful? The clouds, sun, a gorgeous sunset.
Bommel's ready. Here's the 2-2 to Gonzalez. In the air to left field and deep. Gonzalez stealing one from Gonzalez. Adrian saying, you got to be kidding me. What can Cargo do? Here's the catch. Taking a home run from Adrian Gonzalez.
No problem.
You throw that term around, 5-tool player. There have been a lot of guys that, quote unquote, had 5 tools. Not a lot, but there have been players that had 5 tools, and usually they were leaving 3 or 4 of the tools at home when they went to the ballpark. One would show up one day. That kid brings the entire toolbox every day.
Well, he loves to play the game. Loves challenges. Likes the guys run on him. Likes to steal a base. 12 of those on the season.
Ryan Spilborghs has 2 knocks tonight, 2 for 3. Ryan Webb continuing on. And that 94-mile-an-hour fastball is high on Spilborghs. Rockies in their last 21 ball games, 15-6. That's the second best mark in baseball. 2-0. I was wondering if Houston Street would throw tonight. He is up. The reason I was wondering, he's pitched in 3 straight ball games.
Well, it's not Jim's decision really whether he throws or not. It is a matter of him going in and telling Jim he can go tonight, or if I need a day. And if you throw 3 days in a row, typically the manager will come find you and say, can you go tonight if I need an inning? He threw 12 pitches on Tuesday, 17 Wednesday, 13 on Thursday.
I think he's also looking at, you know what, I've got 4 days off starting on Monday.
Just to correct that, it was Wednesday, Thursday, Friday was the pitches.
3-1 on Spilboards. Looking fastball, got a slider, took it 3-2. Brad Eldred on deck. Rockies went 1-2-3 in the first inning. They have at least one hit in every inning since then. And one more hit, Huey, and the Rockies will have their 9th straight game with 11 hits.
Well, that's why their average has been climbing up in baseball in the National League, why they have one of the best winning percentages here at home at Coors Field. Home average right at 300.
3-2, and that's a fair ball. Here comes Brad Eldred with one out. And here comes our Coors Light cold, hard blast. Brad is last time up with a man aboard. First pitch from Wade LeBlanc. He hammered it to right center field. He knows a thing or two about home runs. Hit almost 200 in the minor leagues. Guerrera will throw out Eldred from the outfield grass. 2 outs. Brad 2 for 4 tonight, including that 2-run home run. And now Clint Barmes will come up. Walked in the second, intentionally walked in the fourth, and a single in the 6th inning. Been on base 3 times tonight. 2 outs in the bottom of the 8th inning. In the 9th inning, it'll be Hairston, Scott Hairston, Yorvi Torrealba, and Aaron Cunningham. 4, 5, and 6 for San Diego. With a win, the Rockies closed within a game of the Padres. They have led the division the whole year. Dodgers earlier today lost 7-3 to the Cubs. Giants won 10-5 in Washington. Two balls, no strikes. Phillies finally won that ball game over Cincinnati 1-0. As we mentioned, that is Travis Wood had a perfect game into the 9th inning tonight for Cincinnati. It was broken up by Carlos Ruiz with a double, and then in extra innings Jimmy Rollins won it with a game-winning hit. Bills win it 1-0 over the Reds. Rockies will see both of those clubs on the road immediately after the All-Star break. An 11-game road trip, longest of the year. Back up the middle, base hit. And that will allow Ian Stewart to hit here in the bottom of the 8th inning. He had the 2 home runs and 6 RBIs yesterday. Who Wants Tacos fans, if you'd like to receive text message alerts when the Rockies score 7 or more runs for the Rockies Taco Special, text the keyword taco to 95323 from our friends at Taco Bell. And that's inside. Ball one on Stewart. Rockies down 8-6 when Stewart came up in the 7th last night. And he went opposite field against Luke Gregerson. 3rd career grand slam for Ian Stewart, and the Rockies would hold on to that 10-8 lead. They'd win by that score. Got the average at 258, 11 home runs. He's driven in 44. And this ball is right to right. Jeff, he's in the best spot he's been in at the plate since early April.
He looks so comfortable up there now, where he's not fooled on pitches. He's staying back, short to the ball. All those terminologies that we use for a guy to be able to swing the bat. Toward strike zone, ball up and away from him. We saw him take that ball yesterday and hit it for a home run to left field. That time, he was able to get on top of it and pull it to right at 95 miles an hour.
And a little more aggressive lately.
That's the key for me. It's just, you know what? You're not going to get 4 strikes. You're only going to get 3. So you might as well swing it one if you see it early enough where you can recognize it.
Joe Thatcher's up, and he's going to have to get ready in a hurry if they want him to face Carlos Gonzalez if it gets that far. 2 outs, 2 on. Dexter Fowler 0 for 49, 0 for 5 last night. Dexter struck out 6 of his last 9 plate appearances after the league couldn't get him out for about a week.
So they're thinking about what plan Torrealba will take with him. Will he go hard sliders down and in? Will it be a fastball? Or is that hard slider down and in, and Dexter couldn't hold off of it?
Getting a little jumpy at the plate.
It looks like he's starting to guess just a little bit.
And the Rockies with 12 hits tonight, so it's now 9 in a row. They tie the club record of 11 straight hits. Or 11 or more hits, I should say. Did it back in '98.
I thought it was a balk, too. Because he started to lean towards home, and then as he started to step off, he got his cleat caught and backed it up. So what an opportunity this is. Balsley's going out in case they want to go ahead and do this. Not that they would, but if they wanted to turn Johnny around, walk Dexter. Once he starts to come back with the foot, and he kind of start, stop, move. Torrealba, veteran move. He stuck his hands up like timeout. A little late. Things happened there. Couldn't do anything about it.
Well, you know what this might bring into play now for Dexter as a bunt possibility.
It's got to be so perfect, though, with 2 outs, which he can do, obviously.
You know, it's interesting how things change over a couple of days. You know, 2 days ago in the St. Louis series, when Dexter was getting hit after hit, reached 7 times in a ball game, you may have seen them passing on him with first base open, but he's 0 for his last 9.
Yeah, that's something that, you start to think about. Has he gone back to the old habits of maybe chasing that breaking ball down and in?
1 strike count on Fowler, 2 now in scoring position. They're trying to go in there with consistency. That slider was down and in, and ultimately, though he swung at it, Jeff, it may have been off the plate.
It's just recognizing that pitch now. Go ahead and still trust your hands, just like you've been doing. Right there.
And you know what? You're probably going to see it more than just what you saw there. I mean, it's a 1-2 count now. But I really think that they're not going to give him a fastball to hit.
If they do, George, I think it'll be up and away, something to right about eye level or right across the chest area, just to change the eye angle.
Strike 3, right down the middle, and Dexter's gone. So the Rockies leave 2 on in the 8th. We'll go to the 9th inning. Houston Street will try to close out the Padres again. to you by the Comcast Digital Home Phone Service. Warm up to unlimited local and long distance. Call 1-800-COMCAST. By Dex One, marketing solutions, business results. By Geico, 15 minutes can save you 15% or more on car insurance. And by Old Chicago, eat, drink, and be yourself. Rockies looking to make it 6 straight. Top of the 9th inning in Lodo. They've out-hit San Diego 12-5. Houston Street looking for the final 3 outs, and then it's time for a center field celebration orchestrated by Tom Helm.
There's 45,000 here tonight. We'll see how many we can jam in back here. First things first, we'll talk about Brad Eldred, his home run tonight. He's coming up huge. Also, the sledgehammer. Jason Hamill with a great performance tonight. And, of course, we'll get you down into the clubhouse. It's all coming up immediately following the ball game. Drew?
Have a little more decaf, Tom.
No, I love it. You can't stop the caffeination.
No.
You cannot stop it.
11th game for Houston Street to jump in here. He's been pretty good, folks. 4 for 4 in save opportunities. 3 outs away from putting the Rockies only 1 game out of first place in the National League West.
4 straight days to work for Houston Street. He had the best velocity, Jeff Houston, he's had since his return. He was consistently 93 last night.
And that will be good to see again tonight, because he's going to need it with these hitters. They've seen him a couple different times. They know what he's going to throw. Fastball, hard slider. And you got to keep, obviously, the runners off base, because at some point you're going to see Matt Stairs if there's a runner out. An opportunity to try to tie it up with 1 swing of the bat.
Scott Hairston 1 for 3. Fastball down the middle, strike 1.
Last time we went 4 days in a row, April 26th through the 29th in 2009.
Iannetta moves to the outside corner, and that's a slider that disappeared. 0-2.
And if you watch Street on the mound, to calm himself down, a lot of times he's going to see a pitch. One day Cam Drew's talking about that hard slider. The red dot starts to appear, and the red dot disappears. We watch his pattern of what he does. You watch, see how he take a deep breath, relax himself, get himself calm, and he get in position to make this pitch.
Ouch. Right off Chris's shoulder.
They just set up the slider again away against Hairston. And his slider, George, is particularly late.
Well, it's very quick. It's more like a cutter, really. And because he gets so far out front on it, gets outside that left kneecap, when he does it, it's more like a fastball cut action. It's a short, quick, tight slider.
Oh-2. Missed with that slider. It's 1-2. Outside, 2-2. Houston Street has owned San Diego in his career. It's held him to a batting average of .098. Think about that. Hairston didn't fire at it. 3-2.
A hard slider right out of the hand from Houston Street. Trying to work outside the zone. Before strike zone, said it caught the bottom of the zone, but I think the way it broke so much and so late, it just didn't look like a strike to Gary.
Popped foul and out of play. Stewart will give it a look, but tee it up again, 3-2. and gets him on a 3-2 slider. 11 strikeouts for Street in 11 2/3 innings since coming off the disabled list.
Well, this is late. It's breaking, and it's more of a strikeout to the front of the plate. It went more downward, straight down, than it did on a flat plane across. Yeah, that ability with hard slider fastball and throw it in any part of the count, that slider, difficult on a 3-2 count. Toriyama 0 for 1 in his career versus Houston Street. 2 for 3 tonight, a couple of singles with a run scored.
Check him.
Yeah, you know what? Wow. Yorvie put his head down. He didn't want to look down at Ed Hickox.
You know what I think? I think the body turns.
Safe sign.
Well, the body turns a whole bunch, but the bat kind of, just stayed back on his shoulder. Almost sprung his ankle, though.
That's when the manager comes out and says, come on, if he hit that, he would have hit it in the upper deck. Slider for a strike, 1-1. You ever run that line with the umpire, George, on a check swing when you're on the hill?
No.
Didn't want to get on the wrong side, huh?
No, but I can't really say what I said to umpires.
1-2.
I think Toriyama mad at himself a little bit because he knew he was getting a slider, and then he tried to get out and lift, and he just caught the top of it because it was so late. Or he's mad at himself for swinging at it because he got in the hole 1-2 really quick. Or how about the old teammate thing, Jeff? Right at a fastball middle half inning. Here, let's see how far he can hit it, okay? We're going to give you a fastball, middle half in, four-seamer, no seam. Oh, just kidding.
Yeah, in the back of your mind, is he saying that?
Yeah.
Got him on another slider. 2 outs in the ninth.
Really getting up on top of this slider. And the Hyundai cam, you'll see this thing start to spin and rotate, and then bam, just disappears out of the zone. Started to swing at that ball. It was on the outside corner. It ends up about 6 inches off of the plate.
Aaron Cunningham has been a tough out of late.
Driving with it
tonight.
And you could just feel the electricity down here at field level. Fans are on their feet, but it's just highly energized with 45,000 great fans.
You know, Matt Stairs hoping to have a chance. The Rockies would rather not see Matt Stairs. Here's the 0-1 on Cunningham. 1-1.
It should have been over the fence because wasn't that about belt high?
Yeah, just a little bit higher, but a pitch typically you would see a hitter swing at when it's belt high and out over the middle of the plate.
2-1.
See Jim Tracy, you get these last 3 outs of the game, man. You're just hoping you made every move that you wanted to make, that was right. There's no way you could sit and watch it and walk this one in a 4-2 ball game.
You know what a manager tries to do, and Tracy does it as well as anybody, give your team a chance to win every night when it's possible with the moves you make. Sometimes things get out of your hands. Tracy does that. He's got Houston Street 2-2 with 2 outs. In the air to center field. Dexter Fowler is there. The Rockies have won 6 in a row. 4-2 tonight over the Padres. They're within 1 game of the top spot in the National League West. Jason Hamill gets the win. He's 7-3. Blunt takes the loss. He's 4-7. Houston Street, another save, is 5th. And the Rockies have their longest winning streak since last September when they won 8 in a row. Jimmy John's delivery of the game. Jason Hamill perfect for the first 4 innings. He goes 6 1/3. He allows just a couple of runs on 5 hits. He has been sensational since coming off the disabled list in his last 11 starts. Rocky